Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Sideline Sports. I'm your host, Trevor. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Today is Sunday, and that means post-game show for the 49ers versus the Minnesota Vikings. And if you don't know, we lost 17-23, and the game was pretty much never in well, it was within striking distance, but it never felt like it was within our hands for any moment in time. What can I say about this game? The scheme was completely basic on Shanahan's part, and whenever we're down by any amount of points, I feel like Kyle Shanahan kind of feels the heat and he doesn't perform well. The adjustments just weren't made in the game. We saw a lot of great running by J.P. Mason. Mason continues to shine in the offense. Debo was overused. Kittle wasn't used enough. And Brandon Ayuk was basically, MIA the whole game. So let's talk about Ayuk for a minute. That's what happens when you have a holdout, ladies and gentlemen. You have rust. And all of a sudden, you're not good to go. So what did Ayuk do by holding out and not getting into training camp? Well, he might have just given this team a little bit harder chance at getting into the playoffs while he's knocking off the rust. Let's hope that's not the case, but we still don't have Christian McCaffrey. And as a matter of fact, Christian McCaffrey is going on injured reserve, which means he won't be back for about 4 weeks. Good thing we have Mason. He's running the ball very well. But it just seemed like, as far as the offensive scheme goes, I saw a lot of the same old stuff over and over again during the game. I saw a lot of passes up the middle. Some were good, some weren't so great, but the plays were very much vanilla. I didn't see Debo getting used in the backfield as much as I would like. Kittle continues to be kind of just used as a last-minute option sometimes. He wasn't really there in the game much. Yes, he made some plays, but overall, I would love to see Shanahan use Kittle more like he used to. I don't know what happened, but he's not using him, and he hasn't used him to his potential for a couple of years now, I don't think. And then we got, of course, Mason was running well, but and Brock Purdy was throwing the ball the best he could, but he felt like he was forcing things because the plays were breaking down. Why didn't they run the ball more with Brock Purdy? Brock Purdy ran the ball a couple of times, and I saw some opportunities for him to get out and run the ball even more. That would have taken the pressure off of some of the wide receivers because the defense would have had to account for Brock Purdy running the football. And he's more than capable of doing that, but he didn't do that much this game. So I'm a little bit disappointed in the scheme for the offense, and I'm a little bit disappointed how Kyle Shanahan continues to fail to adjust in close games. It's not every game. Sometimes the talent is so good on the 49ers that his schemes don't always matter, even if they're not the greatest. But we saw it in the last 2 Super Bowls. When it's close, even if we're winning and we're up, but if it starts to look like things are going to go the wrong way, he just, I don't know, decides to shut down. He takes his brain out, plays with it for a little while, and who knows? It's just, who knows what's going on with the offensive scheme there. I don't get it, but I'm putting this on coaching today. The team was not prepared. The offensive scheme was basic. It was easy for the Vikings to figure out. And by the way, the Vikings have a very good defense, and their offense with Justin Jefferson is no slouch either. So it's not like they're a pushover team. However, every time we go into Minnesota, it seems like we're losing the game. It does seem like that. The last, I think, I don't know how many games, I don't want to quote it, but at least the last 2 or 3 have gone into Minnesota. We haven't come out winning. So I don't understand it, but there is no excuse for that kind of play. Nobody was really outperforming. Bosa looked okay. Yes, he's doing things aside from getting to the quarterback that is helping the defensive line, but he needs to get to the quarterback more than once a game. I mean, in my opinion, he's supposed to be an elite defensive lineman, pass rusher. He needs to get in there and get to the quarterback a little bit more than he does. That's just my feeling. I'm not taking anything away from Minnesota's defensive line and their offensive line. They're both very good. But That being said, again, our offensive scheme just looked pathetic today. It looked pathetic. It was like watching Groundhog Day every single time the Niners got in and had a series. Okay, every series looked like the last one. I liked how they were using Mason, and I think maybe they're a little bit afraid that if they use Mason too much, that he could get hurt, and that would be a big problem. But I don't know. They used him a fair amount, so that's not really my complaint as much as the routes the wide receivers may be running, the plays. It just seemed like the same thing over and over again. It's like Novocaine, just give it time, but not this time. It didn't work this time, guys. It just looked really bad. And it looked like I said, it looked basic and anybody can figure them out. We'll talk more about this on Football Friday when we talk about the Niners on Friday. But since we're doing the post-game show today, I just wanted to hit home on a couple of those issues and really put it on the coaches this week because they didn't come to play. And it's not just on Shanahan. The defense didn't look that fantastic. Well, it did, but I think the defense could have adjusted too. The secondary got burnt many times. And by the way, that's okay when it's Justin Jefferson because he does that to people. But it seemed like they were just getting out hustled every single which way you could think about, defense and offense. So not super happy about the game today. Kind of upset about the coaching. Fred Warner came to play and he intercepted the ball, which is great. Niners recovered a fumble, which helped. But in the end, we just couldn't stop Minnesota Vikings from marching down the field and, putting in the work and winning. They don't have a top tier quarterback and they made Sam Darnold look good. He's not a good quarterback. Guys, Niners made Sam Darnold look serviceable. That should never have happened. We couldn't get at the quarterback. That defensive front is not getting at him as much as I would have hoped. So let's see how this works out as we move on through the season. It's only the second game, and we're still ramping up, right? But that was a game I think that we just kind of, for lack of a better word, messed up our bed, okay? I'm not going to say anything else. We messed the bed. So let's remake the bed and not do that one again. Frustrating as all hell. Frustrating as hell, guys. And let's forget it and move on. We got the Rams next week at the Rams at home in LA. Let's go down there and do what we do with the Rams. We'll just take care of them and get back on track. And we'll move on. We'll move on. We'll forget this horrible loss. It was ugly. And I know it's only week 2, but I hate when I see a loss like this where it could have been avoided. And again, the play calling, I'm just going to keep hammering on that. The play calling was just not great. I am going to say that the Minnesota Vikings look good. They look fairly legit, but without a top tier quarterback, and they come in there and make you look like that, or rather we go there and they still make us look like that. It's no excuse. There's 2 top teams in the NFL right now, guys. It's the Chiefs and it's the Niners. And when the Niners play like that, it doesn't make them look like the top 2 teams. So let's see if we can gain some pride back next week. Let's hope Christian McCaffrey comes back soon. He's on the injured reserve list now, which means he's going to be out for the next 4 weeks or so. And then I believe we have a bye, so it might actually extend out 5 weeks if you include the bye, which will get him time to go ahead and recover and get back to playing football. But we'll talk more about that later. Like I said on Friday, just doing a quick post-game analysis and thoughts on the performance. There wasn't a lot of shining moments for a lot of players, but Fred Warner was one, and Mason continues to be the cowbell as the running back. So, hey, let's get back on the horse. Let's go Niners. And just remember, hard work beats talent when talent don't work. And that happened today, guys. Talent didn't work today, and hard work beat them. So that's the thing I live by. That's a motto I live by. I believe in working hard. And let's see the Niners get back to work and get back on the horse because it's not going to be given to you. You got to go out there and earn it every step of the way. I think the coach this time let them down a little bit. Overused Debo a lot. I don't want to see Tebow get hurt again. Let's see where we go from here. Anyway, see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys.